Hey everyone, it is Christine. Welcome back to my channel. If you are a new person around here, I am a homeschooling mom of 3. They are aged 5.5, 4, and 2, and I share homeschool content here on this channel. So if that's something you would like to see more of, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I send out new videos. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a bit of a catch up on the end of our school year. I'm in New Zealand and we finish our school year in December and we then enjoy our summer. So I wanted to talk with you about how our school year went. I cannot believe we've actually finished a whole year of school, a whole full year. So that's really exciting. So I want to update you on what we used, what worked, what didn't, and I'm not sharing what our curriculum is for next year yet. I'm going to do a video of that, but I might sort of hint at a few things. So if you're interested, keep watching. All right, so if you have not seen my video, my kindergarten curriculum video, I'm going to go ahead and link that for you here so you can see what we started out the year with and my best intentions. And then you can kind of refer to that. I had to actually go back and watch it just to make sure I remembered everything. I'm going to talk about what we used, what went well, what didn't go well, and what we are doing now. So it is, when I'm filming this, it is the last week of November. Actually, we haven't even done our school today. We're down to one last subject, and we had a crazy morning, and it just crossed my mind that we haven't actually done it, so we need to do that later on. We're down to literally doing one subject, and that is language arts. And then next week, we're starting our Christmas school, and that'll be our year finished. And yeah, I look back over this year, and it has been an insane year for everybody, first of all. We weren't too heavily affected being in New Zealand. We were able to close our borders and basically resume life as almost normal after about 6 weeks. But it was still a crazy year. We had major life events like a wedding and 2 babies born. Not me. I have not had any further children, but in my family. And so it was crazy. There's been lots of different things, and I have been so grateful this year that we homeschool because it has just simplified a lot of things, and I'm sure removed a lot of the stress that other families must be feeling right now. So all that to say, it's been crazy, but I have seen so much progress with my son, who was really the child I was homeschooling this year. I had no plans to homeschool my daughter, Annie. We did pick up some preschool stuff at the end of this year, but we've since kind of stopped because it's almost summer. The weather's amazing, and basically I have not been doing any school with her unless she comes to me and asks for it. And really, she's just been playing outside a lot, which is what I want for her. So it's mainly my son that we've focused on, and he and I have both learned things this year. I've learned about our schedule and what we need to do. I was following our school terms here, our traditional school terms, and I decided that next year I'm going to be doing 6 weeks on, 1 week off. Our school terms were a 10-week block and then a 2-week break, and it was just too long. I was done by the end of 10 weeks. I was over it. And so, yeah, that is one of the changes I'm going to make for next year, and we'll see. It's all trial and error. We'll see. Hopefully it goes well and leads to a more rested, peaceful home. But who knows? All things are different. I didn't plan on signing up for any extracurriculars, but we did end up doing swimming lessons for a term, and that was really great. The kids loved it. It really improved their water confidence, and yeah, it achieved what I wanted for them. We didn't continue for the next term just because it was getting to the end of the year and I was feeling tired, and I felt like we got out of it what we needed at the time. Next year, I have no idea. I have not committed to any extracurriculars because I can't think that far yet. So we shall see. Also, my kids are still very little, and so I really don't feel the need to put them into anything at this stage. I don't want to spend money on stuff that is not adding value to them or to our family as a unit, and so I'm not putting a lot of stress on that. But let me talk about curriculum and what we did. So we started out with the Bible books, And it was like a Bible book series, which again is in that video that I chatted about. And we ended up stopping that. I don't know when exactly. We just kind of stopped it. And what we ended the year doing was I created a gratitude journal and a prayer journal. And we would go over prayer requests every day as a family and list the things that we were grateful for. And that was kind of like our Bible time in the morning. And I was really happy with that. Like, it was really good for my children, for all of us to just be mindful and to start our school day on the right note with the right mindset. So that is what we ended up doing for that. I'm excited for next year and our Bible curriculum, because we are going to be using a new one that I have not used yet, and I'm very excited. In the video I did of our kindergarten curriculum, I mentioned, I think it's called Our Family Ways. We never got to that, but I'm keeping it because I know in the future we will likely use it. So, yeah. Now, I think it's the only piece of curriculum that we did not end up wavering from was math. We used The Good and the Beautiful Level K math this year. We actually started it the year previous, but it was like towards the end of the year. And so we were just doing like half a lesson a day, and we ended that this year. And that was brilliant. Like, I have nothing negative to say about that curriculum. It was amazing. I loved it. And I'm planning on continuing it. So we're going to be doing the level 1 next year, and I've actually put together the math manipulative box myself. I got their PDF when it was free, so I got the PDF and then the like physical stuff that you couldn't print out, obviously, I ordered. So I'm going to get around to doing a video on showing you how I put that together and where I got things and stuff like that. But that's, I don't know when I can promise you that, because I'm waiting on a couple of things still. So that is what we did with math. Really, it was brilliant. I was really impressed with my son this year, and things I didn't realize he could do that he could, and the curriculum kind of just showed that to me. So he loved it. I loved it. I'm looking forward to next year. The other, let me think, what was the other thing that changed was history didn't change. So perhaps I shouldn't say that math was the only thing that didn't change. History didn't change, but I don't think I included it in that video. I'm not sure that I did. Basically, I used the Story of the World, the very first book, just the chapter book, and I just read aloud. We didn't really do the activities. I just did read aloud, and my children really enjoyed that, and they actually learned a lot from it. So we got about halfway through it, and I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it's leading on beautifully to the curriculum we're going to use next year. So I'll chat about that in that video. Handwriting. Now, we started the year with The Good and the Beautiful handwriting, their level K, and for the most part it was going really well, except that I noticed that my son was struggling with letter formation. He was getting frustrated. So about halfway through the year, I ended up getting Handwriting Without Tears for him, and we did, how far did we get through this book? Yeah, so we got about halfway through in this book, and then I noticed it getting a little bit too tricky for him, and we got up to here. So the book is there. I noticed it getting a bit too tricky for him, and so we ended up going back to The Good and the Beautiful, and that is what we ended the year with. I have this, but I don't know if we're going to continue with it, so we'll see. My daughter really loves drawing and writing and all that kind of stuff, so I might just keep it for her to have. But that is what we did with handwriting. I still love The Good and the Beautiful's handwriting. I think it's brilliant, and it's really pretty, and I like that things can be optional. Like the coloring, my son is not fussed about. My daughter loves it. So it's kind of works for both of my kids. So then the final subject that was probably the one that caused me the most, I don't want to say stress, because I didn't really stress about it, but lots of thought and effort this year went into this. We started the year using The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts Level K, and I was really excited to use this. We used their pre-K and their primer and loved both of those. Honestly, it was a really big jump going from those to this. It was too big of a jump for my son. Some kids will be totally fine with it, but for us, it was just too much. There were too many gaps in between A and B. And so we stopped this, I want to say in like March or April. And we, after much thought and research, switched to All About Reading. And I've got a review of this program. I will go ahead and link it for you here. We loved this. This was exactly what we needed at the time. Like really, this is a solid program. I'm planning on using this with my daughter. Oh, it might not be next year. If it is next year, it'll be towards the end of next year, seeing on how she goes. She's only 4 and she'll be 4.5 when we start next year. But she is a very ready learner, so that's why I've got this ready. But we'll be going through like the Good and the Beautiful stuff with her first. So loved that. That gave like such a great foundation to my son. It sort of slowed us down and we went through concepts over and over again a little bit more, which is what he needed. And then I also added in Foundations Phonics from Master Books. I've got a review video of this up. This I was not overly enthused about, but you can check out more about it there. It was okay. I found it actually more, we used it more for Bible stories than we used it for actual like phonics. So yeah, I don't want to say I regret buying it because you don't know if you don't try something, but I don't plan on using this again with any of my kids. I just didn't feel like it did much. So yeah, anyway, you can go see that review video if you're curious to hear more about that. But I added that in, and so we were doing that and All About Reading for his reading and phonics. And then he kind of got to a point in here. What level are we up to? Listen. We're up to lesson 26, and I think there's like 52 or 53 lessons in here. So we got about halfway, and he kind of reached a stalling point where it was just getting really frustrating for him. And I was like, you know what? Let's go back to the Good and the Beautiful and see how he does with that. And guys, he's just picked it up so beautifully. And like we're up to lesson 40 something in here. We're up to lesson 44 now. And I remember looking through, like there's a page in here with short stories, these short stories on it. Right here. And I remember looking at that and thinking, oh my gosh, he's never going to be able to read that anytime soon. And he read through it like a week or so ago and did so well with it. And I was just like blown away with how well he's done. And we've taken breaks this year from reading. I've really tried hard not to push him too much. And I'm so grateful for this year because it's given me the confidence that I need to just stop and pause when I can see that my child is not developmentally ready for something, because he is clicking now. Like he's just getting it and is reading. Every time we go to read now, I'm seeing that he's learning more and more, and his brain is just like, I remember when I was learning how to read music and play the piano, and it's like every note was such a dredge because you had to figure out every single time and like over and over again. And then all of a sudden one day it just clicked. And I can sit down, and sure, if music's really challenging, then I might need to like sit there and figure it out for a bit. But for the most part, I can sit down and look at a sheet of music and just, my hands just know what to do and they know where to go, and my brain just can read it. And that's really what learning to read is like as well. It's like a code that your brain has to learn. And so this year I've seen him go from like struggling with everything to just being able to read. And he's not fluent yet. I think that takes quite a while to become fluent, but he's certainly on his way there. And I'm just that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of this year, is just seeing his progress and what he's been capable of. And working through character traits and some good ones, some not so good ones, and just working together on those, which leads really well into the next subject that I haven't yet touched on, and I think this is our last one, and that is character training. And so I got the book Laying Down the Rails from Simply Charlotte Mason. Again, I've done a video about that. I'll link it for you. And I just talk about like what we like about it and if it's a good book. Basically, it's all about working on character training. They call it habit training. I feel like it's more character-based. There are habits like cleanliness and tidiness and things like that. But a lot of it is things like working on paying attention and being kind to others and honesty and obedience and things like that. And so that has been a big focus of our school this year, and it will continue to be a focus going forward. So yeah, that's something we also did. It was only like 10-minute lessons a couple times a week. It wasn't very much at all. So the lessons are not so much the thing that makes the difference. It's just kind of a jumping off point, and then you really hyper focus on that during your daily living. So I think that's everything. I think that's a good update on our week. I can hear my kids are getting really rowdy, and I'm going to have to go and we'll see how it goes. It is the worst weather. Like, it has stopped raining since I've been filming, but it has been pouring all night and all day, like really, really bad. So, yeah, I think that is everything to update from the school year. It's been amazing. I have no regrets. Everything's been a great learning experience, and I'm really excited to see what happens next year, because next year is like, I feel like just that step up, because technically I have to get my son exempt from having to go to school. I have to write in a letter and get his exemption approved, and so it feels like the real deal, you know. I feel like we've kind of been like wetting our feet a little bit, and now we're going to be diving right in. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you've got questions for me, please leave them down in the comments, and otherwise I will see you in the next video. I can't say when that'll be up because we're kind of going into Christmas and holidays, so there might be a bit of a break for me, but I will certainly be here in the new year if you don't hear much from me between now and then. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no war.